Oh, yeah, here's the thing. Sometimes you'll like go out into public and you'll be like around a woman and then you'll be with a bunch of guys and you'll kind of hear the background noise of other people talking because you're paying attention to her and they're sort of like feeding her lines. So you start like talking and responding to those lines as though the girl was moving her lips. And you could like effectively tell your story or your reasoning. Nobody bats an eye, of course. There might be like a Republican there, and you're like standing there tearing him down to size why he's not good enough to date her due to him being probably a misogynist. And you could probably tell that he's a Republican just by looking at him. Uh, like if you go to the bar, you could kind of tell the young Republicans from the young liberals. Like young liberals tend to blush more, and the young Republicans tend to be pasty white and to be more like macho and gung ho about approaching the women, while the guys are more like cautious about it and sort of waiting for the women to approach them because they don't want to appear misogynistic to the women. Um, I mean, to me, if a young woman doesn't give me verbal consent to touch her or to talk to her, really, I'm not going to talk to her because I think that consent is a very necessary thing when talking to women. You get this whole bullshit story from people, oh, men are supposed to be the pursuers. Well, that's all misogyny, and you'll notice that there's a lot of guys these days that are younger than my age, that are like 21, that would completely agree with me that being like the pursuer in a relationship or trying to get a relationship is sort of a misogynist pig attitude. And they don't want to do it because they don't want to appear like that they're sexist towards the women. At the same time, if you're hostile towards me, which usually happens like 100 times more to me on the internet rather than uh, uh, in public. In public, people are generally very much more open-minded and liberal and kind and compassionate. This is Washington State. Any kind of bullshit you've heard about, like liberals being, especially women being mean, is incorrect. I'm not going to date some hostile chick, you know what I mean? I'm not going to date some hostile chick that's mean to me over the internet or in public. It doesn't really matter to me. If somebody's hostile to me, I will straight up call them out for their hostility, just like a lot of guys would. I don't have to say that she's a feminazi or a misandrist, but I can just say, well, your hostility turns me off anyway, and as much as you don't want to date me, I don't want to date you either. And I think that's a fair, valid argument. If somebody is being hostile towards you, you can both hate misandry and misogyny at the same time. It's completely valid and logical and allowed to do so. To hate a hostile chick is not bigotry. Karl Popper said that if you hate bigotry, you're not necessarily a bigot, because we live in a society of tolerance and tolerating intolerance, such as with Trump or mean-spirited, narrow-minded liberals, is not going to be conducive to a tolerant society. So if anybody is intolerant towards me or hostile, whether they're guys or gals, I don't want anything to do with them. The other thought that I had was that this whole deal with PayPal accepting $5 a question, you'll notice in the comments I'm really attacking and putting my dissenters in their place. If that's a problem for you, don't comment on my page, because I'm here to embarrass you. If you're mean to me, I'm just going to call you out for being mean-spirited, which is going to embarrass you. And you're going to be there like talking about yada yada yada, no chick wants to date you sort of thing. Well, I'm going to say, well, I don't date hostile people. If you're going to be hostile towards me, I'm going to put you in your place. If you're going to be mean-spirited towards me, I'm just going to say shut up and stop talking to me. I'm not going to, I may be clipped like that, or I may like give a whole paragraph of reasons why I wouldn't date you in the first place. I mean, if you come at me with hostility and you're rude, there's no fucking chance in hell I would date you. So with that $5 a question thing on Facebook, or I'm sorry, on PayPal from YouTube, like if I suspect that you're trolling me and I ask you out on a date, I'm gonna say, well, send me $5 over PayPal so I know you're not trolling me, and then I'm gonna block you after I send you the PayPal link. If you don't send me the $5, I'm not gonna unblock you. It's not really capitalism. It's just a test to see if you're trolling me. And if you're trolling me, then you just stop talking and give up. If you're not trolling me, you just send me the $5, or you send me $1 just to kind of like ease me into it or something. If you sent me a penny or something, I'm gonna just take that as a joke. If you actually, you know what? If you send me less than $5 to me, I'm gonna take that as a joke. You're not taking this seriously, which is very rude. So if I suspect that you're trolling me, I'm just going to send you to my PayPal link and block you. Or if I can't figure out a way to block you on YouTube because somehow you have it set up that you can't be blocked on YouTube, like this Midnight Raven, liberal, hypocrite, money worshiper, feminazi type, I'm going to, just put you in your place and tell you that you're rude, and then I'm not going to date you anyway, and you shouldn't even try. I mean, you as a dude coming at me with the hostility just pretty much proves my point that you're a misogynist pig, and if you do this towards me, you would probably do this towards women, so I don't think that you're a cool guy anyway. There are plenty of people that are nice to me that I don't have to tolerate rude people. Nobody has to tolerate rude people. That's not the law. You don't have to tolerate people. It is perfectly legal for you to tell people to fuck off, and completely logical and rational to tell people to fuck off. If you suspect people are trolling you, set up a PayPal account. Say, I suspect that you're trolling me. Give me $5 over PayPal and I'll unblock you. Then block them. If you can't block them somehow, just put them in their place and let it be the way it's going to be. If they just keep at you with the same arguments over and over again, perhaps have a couple paragraphs typed up in a Word document and just cut and paste your reply. And if they come at you again, just cut and paste the reply again until they listen. If they don't, well, that's their problem. But my main point with this is that if I have this PayPal account where I accept $5 a question, and you're just like, I've noticed a lot of people on the comments aren't asking me as many questions because they know I'll just send them to the PayPal account. But my thought here is that if you are between 18 and 24 and a woman in Spokane and actually want to go on a date with me, you'll somehow prove it. And the way that you'll prove it is you'll prove that you're not trolling me because I've been catfished 7 times. It hasn't happened for years. But if you send me $5, it'll at least prove to me that you're not a troll. Or if you want to take the free route, make a YouTube video. I have little more than a phone, okay? I have like an EBT card. I have no credit card. I set up my PayPal account with a free debit card. If you really are a chick that is into me and you are what I am looking for, make a YouTube video with your phone and put it on the internet instead of being a chicken shit about it. Because I'm not going to believe you. I'm not going to just take things on faith that you're not trolling me. Because I am starting from the foundation that you're lying and you're bogus and you're hostile anyway, so I wouldn't date you. The other point I have to make is that if I'm accepting $5 a question, just think if you were my girlfriend and what I desired being a girl that's like 20 years younger than me, being like 18 to 24, how many questions would come in? based on the fact, well, why are you dating a 39-year-old guy that all these people on the internet seem to hate? Well, if you're dating me, there'd be all these questions, and each question, if we charge $5 a question, we'd make a lot of money. I'm not saying I'm a capitalist or anything. We could easily just like support direct democracy and labor unions and caps on CEOs like Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren and Andrew Yang have their socialist ideas, or their ideas that are more about compassionate capitalism. If we just support those ideas, we're not exactly capitalists. Just because somebody has a job doesn't mean they're a capitalist. Just because somebody works at McDonald's doesn't mean that they have capitalist ideals. Just because somebody is a machinist or any job, a doctor, a lawyer, doesn't mean that they're necessarily a capitalist. People need money. People need to eat and survive. That doesn't make them capitalists. It makes them, they have to survive within this crude capitalist system. So they have a job. Labor unions and unions prove that people that have jobs are not necessarily capitalists. So my thought here is, if you're hostile and you're a dude, I'm just going to pretty much presume that you're a misogynist. Whether you're a liberal or a Republican. I've met plenty of liberal misogynists, and I've met plenty of Republicans that are misogynists. So if you're rude to me, I'm just going to presume that you're rude to women too. If you're hostile towards me and you're a chick, I'm not going to date you anyway. Just stop trying. You're trying to put yourself out there like you expect me to like lose control when we've already been through all this shit together forever. You know, I've addressed all your questions, and I could just like go to my Word documents and pick some thing that I've written already and like click that, copy paste it to your thing, and all of a sudden the question's answered. It doesn't make me mad. It just makes you look like a fucking troll. So it's not my problem. It's a you problem. So just consider that. If you actually dated me, how many questions would roll in? And if we charge $5 a question, how much money we would make?